incumbency. And I told you earlier that ultimately the country decides on who is the leadership. So yesterday, one of your colleague channels had a survey. And it's proved that Narendra Modi is he's the highest rating ever, even world rating. So when people see that you are at the rating of, and I totally agree with my friend, that show me 50%. So Narendra Modi's rating is actually 50 plus. And unfortunately, others are down below. I think democracy will do very well if we have a very strong opposition as well. I personally would love to have a very strong opposition, and I'm sure my friend also would like to have. Opposition has to be very, very strong in a democracy which really thrives and works. So, and no government ever is permanent. We all will come and go. Nobody is permanent. But the country remains, so we have to make sure our fundamentals are very strong. And for that, somewhere down the line, something may not be right. I'm nobody to judge on the opposition, but I feel that there are so many issues in this country. If there is only one issue one thrives, what is the issue of opposition? Modi hatao. And that cannot be the issue. If you talk about what are we going to do if at all we come to power, people of this country always look for a roadmap. One mantra will not do. Same thing happened with Indira Gandhi. वो कहते हैं कि इंदिरा हटाओ, मैं कहती हूँ देश बचाओ. That's kind of slogan. So I think somewhere down the line, and like I said, that I'm nobody to comment on the opposition, but for the sake of the country, we definitely need a very strong and a vibrant opposition, whichever may be.
Well said. But, you know, the point that he has made, okay, opposition doesn't have a face, fine. But at least opposition should have a narrative apart from Modi hatao.
No, I think the opposition has a narrative. It's a different matter that we've been losing national elections. And that is why there are a large number of states where the opposition rules. The idea of recreating India in a presidential form is uniquely Modiji's. A presidential form of government with over-projection of a single person certainly is happening in our country, but that does not sit well with the parliamentary system at all. Suppose Mr. Modi is rated in the survey which my friend mentioned at 51%. Does it get him anywhere in a parliamentary democracy unless each of his individuals in the BJP wins? It's completely irrelevant, but it seems nice because we like to believe ourselves in a presidential mold. So I think these are matters of projection. Ultimately, if you were today to find very strong regional leaders, and regional leaders were to aggregate their national elections as an aggregation of state elections, and you actually had this one constituency, one person, at least in 500 constituencies, where would be Mr. Modi with 39%? That's a point to remember. Number two, my friend mentioned trickling down inequality. Just look at, I'm not talking of economic growth now because I've already talked about it. The world's single largest social welfare scheme, a coalition government successfully ran it, which Mr. Modi ji, without acknowledging it, is running now, Manrega. A very big savior, by the way, in COVID, world's largest. The world's largest Bima Yojana. The world's largest food security program. Not India's, world's largest. There were 6, 7 schemes like this, derided sometimes as leftist, called sometimes as Cholawala, ridiculed sometimes as a National Advisory Council, but they have become your mainstay. When the banking crisis struck worldwide, it was these schemes which kept India above and afloat. So it is not that you, and the Gini coefficient by which you measure inequality, the largest number of people ever moved above the poverty line were in the 10 years of UPA government. The statistics of the government of India show that the largest number of people, 24%, moved above the poverty line. So I think, again, it's this per se feeling we have because we saw a large number of years of coalition governments. Mr. Modi certainly has a great power of attraction in terms of showing the strength, showing that a single party rule alone is going to be, but that is not necessarily fact.
Fair enough. Last point to you. At the end of the day, Prime Minister Modi may criticize the UPA government or whatever, but he is adopting their welfare schemes, whether it is Narega, whether it is Aadhaar, whether the schemes of the